Hello, hello. Hey, Debbie. How are you doing? I'm really shocked that there's not more people on. There's usually so many more people. What is going on today? Your 3-year-old grandson. Oh, that must be lovely. I was going to wait for a couple more people, but I guess we'll just go ahead and get started. I didn't put out a reminder today, so possibly my regulars forgot. Hopefully they'll join soon. Alrighty. So we'll go ahead and get started. So today we are doing Paper Crafting 101, and we're going to be talking about blends and Stampin' markers. So Stampin' blends and Stampin' markers are different, and so we're going to talk about the differences and different things that you can do with them. So let's see. Okay. I made myself a note that I don't recall what I was making myself a note about. How funny is that? Obviously, I'm probably not going to go over everything today. I will do my best to cover as many things as I can, but sometimes I forget things too, and I come across something later and I'm like, oh yeah, I should have done that. So, you know, I'm doing my best here for the day, and sometimes we also have crossovers between one Paper Crafting 101 and another, or an advanced paper crafting. So you might see some things cross over. You might see some repetition if we're doing, you know, something else, and it also includes this. So anyway, welcome. If you are live, that's great. If you're not, if you're seeing this as a replay, there won't be a little red button up in the left hand corner, I think is where it is right now. And my name is Jeri Mobley. I am an independent demonstrator with Stampin' Up, and I am here to teach a little bit about our Stampin' markers and our Stampin' blends. There's a lot of really cool techniques that you can do with these, so I hope you enjoy this. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get started. And I jumped on a little bit late, so I apologize for that. So first of all, let's talk about the differences between the two. So Stampin' blends are an alcohol-based marker. They are wonderful for coloring because, as the name implies, they blend very well. So you can have multiple colors that will blend from one shade or one hue to another. And so that's really nice. Our markers, our Stampin' Write markers, are they're water-based. So these are really great for journaling. They're great for, well, several things. We're going to go over all the different things, but let's go ahead and start with the Stampin' Write marker, actually, and then we'll get to the blends here in a bit. So I'm going to actually start with, I've got a handful of these here. Make sure I grabbed them all. So our brand new colors are right here, which I kind of like to start with because this is fun. We get to see the new colors. So let me talk about the different things that you can do with Stampin' Write markers. So one of the things I love about our markers is that they have, whether it's blends or our Stampin' Write markers, they have two ends. So the Stampin' Write marker has a journaling pen end, which is lovely. We'll do that here in a second. And it also has a brush tip end, and there's different things that you can do with both. So the obvious thing with the journaling pen is that you can journal with it. So hopefully you guys can see this. I picked a light color. So I love to use these with my cards because whatever color card I have made, I have a pen to go with it. And as you guys join, please say hello. I'd love to know who's on. So I love that because then I have colors to match all of my cards, and I know that I always have that matching color. Okay. Okay. So then the next thing that I love to do with these is to color stamps. So when you have I'm trying to decide what stamp I want to show you with this. Let's do, what would be a good one? Actually, let's do one of these. This could be fun. Okay. So I'm going to use one of these. This is from the snail mail set, and I'm going to put this in my Stamparatus. Stamparatus has two of these plates, and you can remove them, you can put them here. We'll talk about the Stamparatus later at another date, but you can move it around and, you know, without moving your stamp, all kinds of fun things. So for today though, let's talk about how we can color, how we can use our markers to color stamps. So obviously I could take my black ink and I could stamp this and I could make this a black one and then I could color it in, which I will do later. But the other neat thing is that you can color the pieces of this image one at a time. And as you can see, this is a mushroom with some leaves and etc. So rather than, because the Stamparatus puts your paper in a position where it's not going to move, you can do things one at a time. So for example, I know you can't see the whole thing, so I'm going to try to move this. So for example, I might come along and I'm going to take my brush tip and I'm going to use the side of it, and I'm going to go over very carefully the plant part of this stamp. Try pretty hard not to get on any of the other areas. And then I can stamp that like so. Let's see, I think I'm gonna do that just a little bit more. And this part just a little bit more. Okay. So as you can see, because it doesn't move, I can re-ink the area and stamp it. I'm gonna go ahead, well, let's go ahead, let's do the grass with this softer green. This is the darker green I used was the Evening Evergreen, that new color, and this is Soft Succulent. So we will do the grass like so. Oh, I didn't get that very well. Try that again. So what's great is I can go over this as many times as I feel I need to get whatever I'm going for, whether it's dark or light. There, that looks great. Okay, so now I've got the grass and the plant. I'm going to go ahead and just wipe this off a little bit so that I don't have to worry about anything moving or shifting. I'd love to know who else has joined us. Please say hi when you get on. And comments help you get in the prize drawing as well. Okay, so now let's do the bottom of these mushrooms, the base, in this new pale papaya. Trying to make sure I get only the bases here. It's kind of hard to tell. So I'm gonna do that in the pale papaya. Look at that. I'm gonna do that one more time because that is a very light color. I hope you guys don't hear my dogs whining. I had to put them in their pen today because the last time I forgot and I was constantly having to deal with them because my husband's not here. He's gone this weekend. He is in Dallas. All right, that's pretty good. We can come back to that if we want to. And now I'm going to use the pink for the, I know this is not traditional at all, but I'm going to use the pink for the tops. I'm going to go ahead and do that one just so it doesn't dry. Oh wow, look at that. That is definitely a different sight for a mushroom. Not what you would normally think of. But hey, as Alice in Wonderland says, we're all mad here. No, I'm just kidding. Had to. All right. I always think of, when I see mushrooms, I think of Alice in Wonderland. I don't know why. Does anybody else do that? Oops. I got the stem there. I always have. Just makes me think of it. For whatever silly reason. Okay. We have one more over here. Try to get this one done. And yes, this does take a little extra time, but on some images, this is just really fantastic. And you can do this with sentiment images as well. I've done that many times before. And it's really, really cool. So that looks pretty good. Go over it just one more time to be sure. Try to get this bottom one. And I love that I can get into very specific areas and very specific colors where I want them, which is really cool. Okay, and as you can see, so far I've left out this little squirrely thing, which I don't have to. So I'm gonna go ahead and go back to this, you know what? Ooh, you know what might be fun? Let's do the freesia color there. So I'm gonna go ahead and wipe this off just so I don't mix any colors on my markers. And let's do this freesia one. That'll be fun. I mean, it can be whatever color we want it to be, right? These are very psychedelic mushrooms. Look at that. That is so cool. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this, and now you can see that I have a multicolored image, and yes, it came from one stamp, which is really fun. So now let's try this the other way. Let's go ahead and stamp this with black, and I'm going to show you in a little bit. I just want to do this while I've got it. Can you use the non-brush end of the stamp to... No, do not use your Stampin' blends on your stamps. Alcohol will ruin your stamps. So never use alcohol on your stamps. That is one reason why you need Stampin' markers if you want to do this technique. You can't use, unfortunately, you just can't use that. Okay. So we have an image here. That we've made now with the markers, and we have an image here that we're going to use the blends on. But I'm going to go ahead and cut this real quick because I want to show you something. So I'm going to cut that in half. So now we have this image here. Now this could be great for a card. You could just put a sentiment here or whatever. What I'm going to show you is a really fun technique that tends to make a mess. So I'm actually going to grab a bigger. It does tend to make a mess, so I recommend using, I know I have another, oh, there it is. You ever put things aside and then be like, where did I put that? That's me. Okay. So one of the other things you can do with this, and I've used this for other stuff, so it's got some other scrap stuff on it, is to flick. So we talked about flicking in another episode of Paper Crafting 101. I think it was the ink reinkers. So, and you can do some fun things with that, but you can also do that with these. So let me show you, what color do we want to do? I want you to see it. Let's go ahead and do the Freesia. They're very light colors, so I'm worried that you're not going to see it. Let's do the pink. Let's try that. Who knows, right? I should have probably practiced this before because I haven't done this in like forever. Okay, so you can put ink on your block with this or with a stamp pad and then use that for watercoloring if you wish. So don't ever feel like you can't do that. That is definitely something you can do. And as we talked about with the reinkers, you can refill these with the reinkers as well. So if you have a color of pen but you don't have a reinker and you need to watercolor, this is a way you can do it, especially if you don't have the stamp. But you can also take your ink brush and flick. Let's see if I can get it to go. I'm having trouble. This color, oh, it's doing it. It's just really light. This color is pretty light. There we go. Oh, that's cool. Okay, so I'm going to bring this up to the camera so you can see. So this makes a very light flicking, I hope you guys can see that, over an image or on a piece of paper. So I can flick one color and then I can come back with, let's try this one. This one's pretty light too, but we'll see how it goes. I can come back with a completely different color and it's hard to see it. It's very hard to see it. It is working. That's so cool. I don't know how well you can see this, but that they're both in there. So anyway, so that is really fun because you can get some really interesting looks with that as well. And of course, like I said, you can come back in if you want to with a watercolor brush and use the ink that you've managed to get on your block to color in an area or two if you want to, just so that you don't feel like you've wasted the ink. That's always an option, but you can wipe it off too. There's other fun things you can do to use up the ink that you've got on things like that, and I will show you one. So another way to use that up is that you can put a little bit of, I'm going to put just a drip of water here, and the one over here. Okay. And I didn't show this last time, but this is kind of fun. So you can just smush it onto a piece of paper and come up with some fun looks. And just imagine if I kept this paper and I did that with lots of different colors, how cool that would look. So yeah, so you can do a lot of fun things with smushing and stuff like that as well. So I could have a very cool splotchy paper all over if I did that with ink on a block like this. Okay, hopefully I didn't get ink everywhere. All right, so that is the coloring on a stamp to make different colors. There also, we've done the flicking and the journaling. So that is some of my favorite things to do with journaling pens. Of course, there's others. Yes, if you have a very small image and you're not worried about blending at all, you can color with these. There's not a reason why you can't on something small. If you're going to be doing something large, I don't recommend it because they are water-based. If you go over any area more than once, you're going to start making the paper pill, and also the color doesn't blend. It goes just like any other water-based marker that you've ever used. It's going to overlap and build up and do some different things. It's not anything like using a alcohol pen. Okay. The other thing you can use this for, you've got your journaling tip, but then this is also a script tip. So if you happen to know how to do script work or anything like that, you can use this for script writing as well. So I love the Stampin' Write markers for that very reason. What do you think? Isn't that neat? Well, hello, Leslie Ann. I'm not sure. Have you ever been on before? I always tell people, if you're new, let me know where you're from. I'd love to know. Okay, so let's talk about blends now. Blends are my favorite thing to color with because blends, by, like I said, the nature of their name, they imply that they blend well. And that's because alcohol, you can use alcohol on paper without having any kind of issue with the paper pilling. So let me I'm going to use a couple of colors here. I haven't put my labels on my new markers yet, so you'll have to bear with me on that, but I'm going to use the new Fresh Freesia and also the Highland Heather for this. So let me show you what I'm talking about. So I can take New Jersey. How cool. Glad to have you, Leslie Ann. I hope you enjoyed today's little lesson. Okay, so you can take, first of all, again, this has 2 tips. Now, I know people disagree with me, and as you can see, I didn't point this out with the markers, but one end has a really broad line and one has a thin line. The thin line is for the thin tip and the broad line is for the brush tip. So the brush tip on this, just like any other brush, is really not meant for coloring like this. You can color with this as long as you're really careful and you're to the side, but the more you color with this brush tip, the faster it's gonna die, and you'll have to buy a new marker. So I recommend that you not do that, but you know, some people, that's what they want to do. The bullet tip is meant for coloring. It's a nice fine tip if you want it to be, and it is meant to color with. It's much stiffer, and so you're able to color and do more pressure. This is really meant, technically speaking, more for brushwork. I'm sure people disagree with me, but that is my opinion on the matter. And I think your markers will last you a lot longer if you approach them that way. So, but let me show you something. So Highland Heather is a little bit darker of a purple. So I'm going to show you this separately. So here's Highland Heather, dark. Here's Highland Heather, light. And of course, all of our blends come in 2 colors, or 2 spectrums per color, because it allows you to do blending for shading and such. So there's our dark freesia, and here is, these are brand new, the lids don't want to come off yet. Here's the light. So you can see quite a spectrum of purple there. Okay. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to blend. So I can take my dark, I don't want that end, I want this end. Hey Martha. So the snail mail, yes, it's a great one. Hey Daisy, nice to have you on. Okay, I'm from Oklahoma too. Where, do you mind saying where in Oklahoma you're from? I'd love to know. Okay, so we're gonna take this darker purple, this Highland Heather. Well, it's darker than some of the others, right? And you see, I have no qualms about going over it and over it because alcohol evaporates so quickly, and it doesn't damage the paper fibers, so you don't have to worry about that. Then I'm going to take this lighter one. Whoops, did I do the wrong one? No, I just grabbed it over again. Okay, then I'm going to take the lighter one. I don't think that's the right color. I think I grabbed the wrong color. Did I grab the wrong color? Yes, I so did. I so did. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start over. So this is the darker Highland Heather. Okay. This is the light Highland Heather. And I'm going to start inside of the dark and move out. And what you will see is that, I'll even go over the dark a little bit, is that it'll blend the colors. And now I'm going to the Fresh Freesia. And I can even do this if I want to help push the color. And yes, I literally mean push the color. And then I'm going to take my light. And as you can see, the color will blend. And I can even come back in with that darker color if I want to. And do some more blending. So you can take a color or a group of colors and blend them one to another. Now obviously some colors blend better together than others, so keep that in mind. I don't recommend going from a completely different color to another. I think it's best to remain with a particular color family, so purples or whatever. You'll also notice that because I went over this color with the Freesia, which has a little more pink to it, it actually changed the tone of the purple. So by itself, for instance, the Highland Heather is more of a bluish purple, and the Fresh Freesia is a little bit more of a pink purple. So when I went over it, I almost created a whole new color, which is really fun. Hey, well, Daisy, I'm in Oklahoma City too. I mean, technically I'm in more, but yeah, that's great. It's great to have you on. So anyway, so that is what I love about blends, is that I'm able to do fun stuff like that. So since we have out, I'm going to use the new colors again. Since we have our new colors, did I get them all? Oh, oops, I'm missing one. Where is it? I know it's in here. Hold on. I know I grabbed all of the... Where did I set it? That's so weird. Oh, here it is. I'm blind. Oh, geez. I dropped it. It's right here. Okay. So I've got the colors from the new In Colors here. Is what I'm talking about. And so we will play a little bit with these, with that mushroom. So we did this mushroom like this with the color, the Stampin' Right markers. Hey, Brenda. Oh, cool. Okay, well, that's where my son went. So you're very close to me. Do you need a demonstrator? Because I'm really close. Okay. So one of the things that we can do is I'm going to show you with the same colors what I'm capable of doing with these fun markers. Now, some of these spots are very tiny, so blending is harder in a tinier spot, but it can be done. So I'm going to take this darker Evening Evergreen, and I'm going to do one side of the leaf. Really should have done that side on that one, but that's okay. Now, if you would like a coloring class to go more in depth, I can certainly do some more talking about different things about coloring. This is not exactly what this class is about. It's really more about the differences, but I'm happy to do that. So just let me know if that's something you want. So now I'm going to go over that other green and just color the whole leaf with the lighter of the evergreen. And what you will see is that it blends and makes a very natural looking leaf, and it makes it look more real because you've done some shading by adding that darker color. Now that's a very small area, so it is hard to see. And on the grass, you don't really have to do a lot of shading. You just want to take your marker over it. This is the soft succulent dark, and it just gives it a little bit of color. But now let's talk about some of these bigger areas that I can do. So I'm going to go ahead and use the pale papaya as my undercolor. So underneath the mushroom, I'm going to go with the darkest color completely under here, under the cap. Then I'm going to take this darker color right here where they've already shown you that there's shading there, and I'm going to pull that down and to the left. I'm going to kind of pretend like my light source is coming from over here, okay? I'm just drawing a fake sun so you can see what I'm talking about. All right, so if my light source is coming from over there, then I'm going to have more light on this side, right? So then I'm going to just take this, and I'm circling a little bit. I'm going to be careful around the green there that I've already put down because I don't want to blend that into my yellow. This is my papaya. It's not really a yellow or an orange. It's somewhere in between. But as you can see, it blends that out. And so you don't have a stark line like you would have with a marker. Okay? And that is what is so cool about blends. And the more saturation you give it, the more blended it's going to look. So you don't have to worry about going over it like you would with a water-based marker. So now I'm going to go in and do this cap here and show you something that you can do here. So again, I'm looking at my light source being on this side of the mushroom, so I'm going to put my dark color at the base and this side of the mushroom. Okay, then I'm going to take my lighter. Oh God, these are so new. This is the polished pink, and I am going over. You want to make sure that you go over the area that you already colored really well, because that's what helps blend it in. If you don't go over it, it will be a starker line. But if you go over it, and the more it sets, the more it'll blend as well. So it may not look quite as blended in the beginning, but it will as it sets. So there. So as you can see, I've got a lighter area here and a darker area over here. Also, you can go over the same color with the same color in an area if you want to make it darker. See that? I just made certain areas of that under cap a little bit darker, and also that line. Really fun. Okay, I think I just answered that question. But yes, I'll show you a little more clearly. So here's the dark papaya, okay? If I go over it again, I can make it darker. And then if I go over it even once more, I can make it darker. So, and it will fade a little bit as it sets, but you can make one color darker. So you can play around with that and get so many shades with just the two colors that come together for that one color, which is really, really nice. So, and I'm going to do the same thing with the spots. I'm going to just put a darker color of the freesia here on this side of the circle. And then I'm going to come back with and notice I'm using the bullet tip for all of this. And I'm going to come back and color the whole circle with the lighter freesia. And that will give me a blended look. See that? And yes, you can always come back in with the darker color if you want to put a little bit more depth back into it for some reason. Like so. And make it a little darker. No, Brenda, I talked about that earlier. I do not use this tip for coloring. This tip is meant for script work, similar to this, for the most part. If you're going to color with it, you want to make sure that you're coloring on the side and very gently, because you can very easily damage this tip. It is not the same kind of, it's not as sturdy as this tip. So the fine tip works better. I know you think, oh, well, I could cover more area with this. And yeah, you can if you put it on its side, but how many images are you going to color like that? Because that's not very precise. So this goes just as fast, and I mean, look, I colored that just as fast. If nothing else, I actually colored it faster because this is more precise. So, and you will wear this tip out if you color like this, and you can't do it hard. I can do that as hard as I want, and it doesn't wear this bullet tip out, okay? The bullet tip is finer and more efficient for coloring, in my opinion. And I just feel like your markers will last longer if you treat them that way. So by using this tip for paintbrushing, script work, things like that, I'm obviously not writing a real word there, I'm just kind of showing you, then you won't wear this tip out quite as fast. Also, with both of these markers, you want to leave them laying flat. So the storage you can buy from us that allows you to put your markers in it and your blends in it lays them flat, and that way it keeps the ink on both ends. If you lay them one way or the other, that other end the top end's gonna dry out, because it may not dry out completely, but it's not gonna be as moist at all because the ink's gonna move down to the bottom. Also, you want to make sure with these alcohol blends that you put those caps on tight. There is a reason why these lids are tight, and it's because if you don't make sure that these are completely on, and I sometimes go like this just to make sure I hear that, here I'll show you, that click. If you don't make sure that those are completely on, they will dry out. I had a customer leave one of mine open one time, and yep, it dried out. So that is definitely important. And I wouldn't say you've been doing it wrong, Brenda. I think it's just it'll save your marker. I think, some people like to color with that end, and I mean, it's your marker. You can do whatever you want with it. But if you'd like to have them longer and get more use out of your money, I recommend using the bullet tip for most of your actual coloring. No, you cannot use reinkers on these. So reinkers, our ink pads, our reinkers, and our Stampin' Write markers are all water-based. So this is the same ink that is in your ink pad. It's the same thing that a reinker has. All of those three things are the same ink. This is alcohol-based. It's a completely different ink. Even though it's the same colors, it's a different ink. So do not use your alcohol blends on your stamps, and don't try to re-ink these. When these run out, just buy another one. We keep these at a very low price point because it is much cheaper for you as an investment to buy these markers that way. And if you really truly use your markers that much, then buying another one's not going to be a big deal. Re-inking them, like some of the high-end alcohol markers, which are made for artists, the investment on those is huge. So yes, you can re-ink those, but you have to buy new tips for those because they do wear out, and you have to buy the re-inking, and they cost a lot to begin with. So when it's all said and done, for most of us crafters, these are a better choice because we're not doing professional artwork with ours per se. We're just enjoying ourselves and having fun and making something beautiful for someone. So, or making a memory for a scrapbook. So these are a really great choice. Also, the higher end alcohol markers that are out there require classes to learn how to use them, because their coloring system is very complex. Whereas this, you buy the two markers come together for each color. So for instance, this is our new Fresh Freesia, and you buy those two markers together for $9. That means they're only $4.50 a piece. And these two, you know, they blend together, no problem. Yes, you saw me use them with Highland Heather and they blended fine. So, and like I said, I'm more than happy to do an actual coloring class for you guys sometime if you'd like to do that. But these are just very simple and easy to use, and that is what I love about them. Yes, I did that actually on the re-inker. If you want to go back and watch my video about re-inkers, you can re-ink these. These Stampin' Right markers can be re-inked, okay? Because these, you can use our re-inkers. Our re-inkers work on our stamp pads or the Stampin' Right markers, but not the alcohol markers. These are two different things, water base versus alcohol base. If you try to put the water base in here, you'll ruin them. I mean, they're not going to work the same. So, yeah. But yes, you can take the tip off of this end. This is going to be a really juicy marker, so I'm not sure I really want to do this, but I'm going to get ink everywhere. So you can take the tip off this end and then refill that with ink and then put that back in. I'm going to get it all over my finger. Oh well. When it really comes down to it, it's easier to do with your finger. So, yeah, absolutely. You can do that. Okay. Any other questions about the basic coloring between the two markers so far? I also want to point out that there are two different kinds of coloring. There's blends coloring, and like there's coloring in where you intentionally want to blend something and be more intentional, and there's coloring where you're just going to color an area. So for instance, I did a bunch of shading here. So the shading type coloring is a little more complex and it looks a little more real, but I can also come in and just color a segment like this with one color, and then maybe I come back in with the coordinating color, the light one, to do that. So as you can see, and this one I used one color, but I came back in and did this middle one again, so it's darker. See that? So you can go over a color, you can blend with another color, or you can just use one color as it is. So, oh, that's cool. There's different ways that you can color with the blends as well. Okay, let me make sure I cut all these. Okay. I think I've answered all your questions. If I haven't, please ask them again because I don't want to miss something. Okay. The other thing I want to show you is, where did I do with them? There they are. By the way, we had fun yesterday on my team meeting, and I'll show you some of the stuff we made here real quick. They turned out really cute. We were just playing around. I was using the new color and contour set, which is in the new catalog, and we made the little flowers with the new ink colors and one of the splatters there. And then this is the new spiral border background die that makes basically tie-dye, which is super cool. So we were having fun playing yesterday. Okay, so the last thing I think I want to show you, unless somebody has a question that you need me to answer, is that you can color embellishments with your blends as well. Not your Stampin' Write markers, those are water-based, but alcohol-based markers, because they dry so quickly, they're similar to a Sharpie. If you think about that, it's a permanent ink unless you come back over it with something alcohol-based. So I can take my plain colored rhinestones, I'm going to do a large one here so you can see it, and I can color this, and I highly recommend using your bullet tip on this because you can definitely damage the other end. Okay, so I'm just going to go all the way around it and make sure I get all the different surfaces. Look at that! How cool is that? That means if I have all my blends, I can basically, hey Melissa, I can basically make an embellishment to go with any one of my cards. And I just think that is so fantastic. Now, the darker colors are going to show up a little bit better. This is the Fresh Freesia. It is a lighter color, and it may take 2 coats. But you can already see it. 2 coats will just make it darker. So see how that works? So I can make my rhinestones any color I want if I have the blends, the alcohol blends markers. I don't know if you can see that very well in the video because it's kind of, I don't know. Can you see that? I hope you can. I'm not really sure. I think you can right there. Hopefully. Hopefully you guys see that. Okay, so you can also color things like embellishments. You can color vellum or acetate. So if I give that a minute to dry real quick. Dry, cool. I'm not sure what that means. Are you asking if it's dry? Yes, it's dry. It doesn't, well, I probably have other ink on my finger, but see that? It's on the surface. So my finger is taking it off of this a little bit because this is a very slick surface, but when you use vellum or an acetate, if you color on one side and then make sure that that side is flipped so that you're seeing it from the other angle, then you won't be able to smudge it with your finger. But yeah, now the other cool thing about that is that I can take alcohol. I've got some alcohol in a spritzer here. By the way, this does work with Sharpies as well. And I can remove that with my alcohol. Now, it's not going to come off of paper, obviously, but it does do that. Now, one thing you can do, though, hold on, I forgot. We sell a color lifter, which is not white. I realize that the ends of this is white, but it's not actually white. Excuse me. It is essentially, I don't know if it's pure alcohol. I think it may have some other things in it too. But let me show you. Do you remember those pens that we played with when we were kids where you could erase a color? See that? How cool is that? So what can happen is you might see this little spot right here on my mushroom that I kind of went out of line. And so I can take this and I'm actually going to push it towards the edge of the mushroom so that I'm getting rid of the color, and it basically goes away for all intents and purposes. Now, the darker the color, the harder it is to get rid of it, but that was a pretty dark color and it was just a small little smudge, so I was able to move it back towards the mushroom. Also, you can use this color to fluff out a color if you want it to be, if you want it to not have a rough edge. See how I did that? So that kind of makes the color a little less bold there at the edge, you can do that as well. And I do that a lot with skies, so I might take some blue around the edge of this and then fluff it out with that color. So there's lots of things you can do. Obviously, an actual coloring class would teach you more of those things, but I did want to show you the difference, because that's one of those things that people don't realize, is that there is truly a difference. They think, well, why do I need both? Why can't I just have one or the other? Why can't I just buy the Stampin' Write markers and be done with it? Well, you can, but as you can see, there's a lot that you can do with these alcohol markers like this and different kinds of coloring that you can't do with these, and vice versa. You can use these on stamps and you can't use these on stamps. So there's a reason for both. And so I just want to make sure that you realize that, you know, we're not just selling a whole bunch of products and trying to get you to buy them all. It's not like that at all. They really do have different purposes. So you have a stamp pad, you have the Stampin' Write marker and the re-inker, which are all water-based. You have the alcohol-based markers, which are our blends. We also sell, in some colors, not all, watercolor pencils, which we will talk about another time, but you can use these as a regular coloring pencil if you like. They work just fine like that, but check this out. They're watercolor pencils. How cool is that? I love it. I absolutely love them. They're very versatile. They're nice. And of course, all of the colors match. So you know when you buy, the new Fresh Freesia in cardstock and ink and markers and whatever, that you're gonna have colors that all go together. So you're not gonna be trying to put together a card and not know for sure what things go with what. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, so I am going to, I've got my little messes here. We had fun though, yeah? I think we had fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and do, if anybody has a question, please feel free to ask. Yes, you can, and that is so cool. Melissa, I'm not sure what you were speaking about, and I still don't know what the dry cool is. But if you guys have a question, please let me know. Hey, Sandra, I don't know that I saw that you jumped on. Maybe I did, and I just don't remember. Brenda, I love your oh my gosh face. Oh, it's so funny. I really hope you guys learned something today, because I tell you what, I find so many people that just don't know that there's a difference, and it's nice to find out some of these things, because you're like, oh, I didn't know I could do that, so I hope that was helpful to you. I'm going to leave those out while I do this so people know what we were just doing. Okay, so let's do, oh, I have a couple of announcements. Look at this. This dried now. How cool is that looking? Isn't that cool? It's so cool. It's really fun to make a whole sheet of this and then use that as a background. It's a lot of fun. So don't be shy to play with different things, because, sometimes that's the most fun. You don't have to make a final project. Just play, make backgrounds, and just have fun, and then use them later. So I have a whole stack of backgrounds, and I just grab them out and use them. Okay, so a couple of quick announcements, because I don't want anybody to miss out, and I know some of you probably have heard these things before, and if you have, bear with me, and then we'll do a drawing. But I do want to make sure that you guys are informed about what's going on. Oh, yes, of the jewel. Yes, it did. Okay, so I did answer your question. It does stay on there. It's on there. It is not coming off. So, yeah. I probably could take it off with alcohol, I'm sure, if I wanted to. But, yeah, it's on there. Okay, so for those of you that are new in particular and are not aware, I do videos every Friday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Central. I have different kinds of videos. I do crafting, I do fun fold cards, I do what we're doing today, Paper Crafting 101, I do advanced paper crafting. I also have on Saturdays my monthly class, my monthly club. I do the paper pumpkin with alternatives. We do paper shares when new catalogs come out, like we're about to have. I'll talk about that in a minute. I do kit classes, and I also do mystery stamping. So Fridays and Saturdays, please join me every Friday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Central. I'd love to have you. So that's the first thing. The second thing is, if you need to contact me, here's my number. You can text me anytime. I may not respond right away if I'm in the middle of doing something else, but please feel free to contact me. And then you can visit my website to shop, or anything else that you need. My contact information there is there as well. Can't speak anymore. Okay. I do have some clubs and classes coming up that I want to make sure, I'm going to get a drink of water, hold on, that everybody is aware of. So the first one is my May card club. This is open. I should probably write this on here. This is open until 4/21. That is the closing date. And we are doing the Sand and Sea bundle. The suite is the word I want. This is one of the cards as a sneak peek. We do 4 projects for the club, and you get a whole lot in the club. And for people who are local or do not need the 12 by 12, I can also do an add-on layout for that as well. And this one turned out so amazing. I love it. So anyway, if you're interested in doing the Sand and Sea club, please let me know. My club is a subscription, but you can pause or cancel at any time. So that's not a problem. Then, whoops, hold on. Then in June, my class, this is not my club, this is just my class. This closes on 5/7, so please register by then. My June class is the Shark Frenzy set, and so these are the cards for that. This is a shadow box card that goes into an envelope like this and pops up, and this little guy moves. It's so cute. So I really love how this turned out. It's so cute. This one has a really fun scalloped wave top. And what's neat about this set is that you can make them look however you want. This is the same stamp, but I added a necklace and little lips and a hat, and so you can do all kinds of fun things. And then on this one, this is a shaker card. Baby Shark. Do, 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 do. Yeah? You guys know that song, right? If you have kids, you know that song. So anyway, these cards turned out so super cute. So if you are interested in that class, please let me know. I will show you the layout real quick for that one. I don't show all the other cards for my clubs because they are exclusive. But this is my layout for the class. And again, this is very versatile. You can make these look however you want. They don't have to be the same as mine. You can choose to put a tie on him, or make this a grandma and a grandpa. There's all kinds of fun ways you can change these, which is really neat with this set. Very versatile set. So, and this doesn't have to say Baby Shark. It can say something else or nothing at all. But I thought this turned out really cute. I really love the bubbles over here. And the little goldfish. They're so cute. So that's the Shark Frenzy set. And then my June club, which you have to sign up for by 5/21. So you have a little more than a month to sign up for that. Obviously this first one, the May club, is closing in just a few days. So 5/21 is the cutoff for, can't get my papers, for the June club. And you can just text me if you want information. I can even text this sheet to you if you'd like. So the June card club, we're going to be doing the butterflies, Butterfly Brilliance bundle. And let me tell you something, this is fabulous. There are a few people on here that have seen all of it for both of these clubs because they are on my team, and they can tell you they turned out really cute and you're going to love them. And this is not the card I was supposed to show you, so you just got an extra. This is the card I was going to show you. This is the beautiful glitter paper that we have, and you can see them through the butterflies, which is so pretty. Anyway, I love that. This is hard to see on camera. It is beautiful in person. I don't know if you can see the glitter, but this is glitter paper under here, and it doesn't come off, so you don't have to worry about that. But it's a rainbow glitter paper that is so gorgeous. So these cards turned out beautifully, and the layout is adorable. So yeah, so that's those. Okay, then I don't know if you've ever been a part of a paper share, but I do have a paper share going on. My paper share is like other people's where we all split paper. So I buy a pack of paper for each of the 16 new packs of paper that we have, and then I cut them into 4. So everyone gets a 1/4 of the pack. They get every single sheet in there. They get to see all of it and play with it, and it's 6 by 6, so it's enough to make cards with, or use on scrapbooks. And so you will get 180 sheets of 6 by 6 paper for $65, but that also includes 10 card kits, because we're going to do a card for each one of the 10 major ones. I don't do them for the color family ones, but for the 10 major sets, we'll be doing that. So we'll be doing card kits, which is an exclusive site that you'll be able to come and do a live video with me. But we'll also have a live party on Facebook. I don't know why that says Zoom. I never changed that on this one. On Facebook, we'll be doing a live party so that everybody can see, and we will do prizes for everyone that was involved. We'll be doing some regular drawings, and then you also get a free gift from me. It's huge, it's fun, it's an amazing deal. So anybody who has ever done one of my paper shares, if you want to let people know how you like them, I'd appreciate that. Also, if you'd like to do the specialty paper share add-on, it's just $8 more. And if you are not a demonstrator, I would be happy to be your demonstrator. And also, you can do this if you're a demonstrator or not, doesn't matter. But if you're not a demonstrator, you can also buy the stamp and bundle that I'm going to be using. I said stamp or bundle that I'm going to be using, which is the Pansy Patch stamp set, or you can buy it with as a bundle with its dies for 10% off as well. But whichever one you choose, I will give you free shipping on this part. So you'll be saving 10% that way as well. So 10% is a bundle, and then another 10% on shipping, or just your 10% on shipping for the stamp set. So those are, it's a really great thing. I love it. Almost everybody who's done a paper share with me, I think always does them. So they're awesome. So it's a really, really great deal and a great way to see all of the papers in person, which I know you probably know if you don't see them in person, you don't always know what they look like, and the catalog doesn't always do them justice. So I would love to help you out with that as well if you're interested. I do have I just sent out some, but I redid it because I realized I needed to put some of the upcoming stuff. So I do have a new schedule for all of my stuff, my classes, my clubs, shows the paper pumpkin box dates, any extra events I'm doing, and also my Friday classes. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. I can text or mail that to you as well. This is something from the company, but I can send you a link that you can sign up under me if you're interested for Paper Pumpkin. Paper Pumpkin is a subscription kit box that comes straight from the company, and it is a surprise. You know the theme, just like you know with my clubs, but you don't get to see all the cards. And so this coming month, the theme is Batter Up, and there's a few of the pieces that are going to be in the kit, and I'm very excited about this one. So sign up for this by May 10th if you're interested, and text me and I'll send you a link. For those of you that are interested also in being part of my spring bingo, we still have 3 months more for that. And then my annual bingo will be coming out with my catalog. These give you an opportunity to get one of these items for free. So if you're interested in doing that, please let me know as well. Okay, I think that's it. All right, so let's go ahead and do a drawing. I've got a couple of things here to draw for. First of all, I know she's not on today, but just in case she happens to watch this later, Cheryl King, I drew for you the other day. You won the drawing, and I haven't heard from you. I need to get an address from you so I can send this to you. Otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and put it back in with all my other prizes, and someone else can have it. Okay. So we have a couple of, okay, let me explain. confuse everybody. All right, so what we're going to do today is we have two papers here. I'll move this one over here. One is from last week. Did I do that right? Yeah, okay. That's this one here. So this one was from the 4/9 video, and I will go back and draw that in a minute. And then there's this one that is for today's video. Like so. And then I will have another one of these that we'll draw next week, like we're going to be drawing this one. So what happens is if you comment during the live video, you get a chance to win. If you comment after within the next week, then you'll have another chance to win a prize. But the people who comment during the live are technically getting 2 chances because they'll be in the second drawing as well. So commenting live obviously gets you more opportunity to get prizes. So when you join me live, that's a great benefit. Also, you get to ask me questions in person. So much nice. So much nice. I'm sure you just accidentally typoed that. I'm not sure what you mean. Can't wait, Brenda, can't wait for the paper share. Thank you, guys. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do the drawing for today. So here we go. Landed on Brenda Barriott. It's Barriott, right? I'm saying that right? I think I am. Tell me if I'm not. Brenda, you won today's comment drawing. So you are getting, and this is what the packs come like in a paper share. So you get 1/4 of the pack of paper. It goes in one of these little resealable bags that you can open and close. And I also put a tag on it that tells you exactly what it is and what it costs and everything. So, yeah. Okay. Congratulations, Brenda. Oh, really? Is your second time winning? Okay. All right, so let me go over here to last week's drawing. Bear with me. And last week was our Fun Fold class. We had a lot of fun doing that card, I think. I did. Pretty sure most of you did. Why did it just do that? Sometimes this thing, I tell you what. Okay, I want more comments, not thank you. That is so weird. I have to get all the comments open here so I can do a scroll. Okay, so I just do a, for those of you who've never seen me do this, I just do this. And that landed on Margaret Brady. I think you just won recently too, Margaret, didn't you? I don't know if Margaret's on right now, so, but I'm pretty sure she won recently too. So she wins that one. And then I will do another one next week for this week's class. So if you happen to be watching the replay, which means you don't have that little live button up in the top left corner, then just know that commenting still gets you into the drawing as long as it's within the week after the class. So I really appreciate all of you being on here. I hope that you will join me every Friday and Saturday at 2 p.m. Central for lots more creativity and inspiration. And I hope you have a blessed week. I hope to see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central. And I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. God bless. Bye-bye.